He used to call me his second sunrise, said I was the reason he got out of bed again after everything fell apart, said I saved him. But the truth, I was just the light he used to find his way back to her. It began, as most doomed things do, with pity disguised as love. His name was Julian Crane, sharp jaw, quiet voice, the kind of man who wore grief like a tailored coat. I met him at a mutual friend's engagement party 6 months after his breakup with his long-term girlfriend, Evelyn Hart. He didn't smile much that night, just hovered near the balcony, nursing a glass of whiskey and pretending not to flinch every time someone mentioned love. I wasn't looking for anyone. After my own heartbreak 2 years earlier, I'd made peace with solitude, the kind that doesn't ache anymore. But something about Julian's silence drew me in. When I stepped onto the balcony, he barely looked up. The city glowed beneath us, soft golds and restless lights. Escaping the crowd? I asked. He gave a faint smile. Or maybe it escaped me. That line, melancholy and self-aware, hooked me in a way I didn't expect. We talked for hours about architecture and forgotten dreams, about how heartbreak reshapes a person's faith in the world. He told me Evelyn had left him for someone safer. I told him I knew what it felt like to be the one left behind. By midnight, I thought maybe, just maybe, something broken could fit against something else broken and form something whole. We started seeing each other soon after. Coffee dates that turned into late dinners, long walks that became quiet mornings tangled in sheets. Julian was careful at first, hesitant, almost apologetic for every bit of affection he gave. "You don't deserve someone half present," he once whispered against my hair. "I'll take honest over perfect," I'd said, and I meant it. He told me I made things easy again, that I helped him laugh, that I was the calm after the storm. I believed him, because love makes you want to believe. For months, I built my life around his healing. I learned his rhythms, how he liked his coffee strong and his music soft, how he stared at old photos on his phone when he thought I wasn't looking. When he got the job offer at the new architecture firm, I celebrated harder than he did. Balloons, champagne, dinner reservations. When he confessed he still felt guilty for not being over Evelyn, I told him healing wasn't linear. "Take your time," I said. "I'm not going anywhere." And I wasn't. I gave him space, patience, empathy, all the things I'd once wished someone had given me. I thought it would be enough. It never is. The first crack appeared on a Tuesday. He was in the shower, and his phone buzzed on the nightstand. I wouldn't have looked, I never did, but the notification preview caught my eye. "Evelyn Hart, you still think about it, don't you?" My heart clenched. He'd told me they hadn't spoken in months, that she'd moved across the country with her new husband. But that one message, that half sentence, felt like a fault line. I didn't open the text. I couldn't. Instead, I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at my reflection in the vanity mirror, wondering how many women had looked at themselves the same way, questioning whether their love was a placeholder. When he stepped out of the bathroom, towel slung low, steam curling around him, I smiled like nothing was wrong. But from that day on, something in me shifted. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing things I'd ignored before. His absences stretched longer. His smiles felt delayed, like echoes of old ones meant for someone else. Once, when we were out for dinner, he mentioned a restaurant he used to go to all the time. "With me?" I asked. He froze. "No, I mean, before. With her. Her." He didn't even need to say the name. It hung there between us, thick as smoke. He reached for my hand, but I withdrew it. "Do you still talk to her?" "Not really," he said, eyes darting away. "We're just friends, I guess." Friends? The word sounded like a lie dressed in polite clothes. I didn't confront him again. Not yet. Instead, I waited, observed, gathered fragments, digital footprints, late-night glances, the way he always left his phone face down now. I wasn't looking for proof. I was looking for the truth. It found me one night when I couldn't sleep. He'd fallen asleep beside me, the rise and fall of his chest slow, peaceful. His phone buzzed once, then again. I stared at it for a full minute before unlocking it. His passcode hadn't changed. The messages were there, months worth of them. Long, emotional, familiar. Evelyn, I still dream about the lake house. Julian, I do too. You always said the sunsets there looked like forgiveness. Evelyn, sometimes I think we made a mistake. Julian, I never stopped thinking that. I read until my chest physically hurt. They hadn't stopped. They'd been talking, reminiscing, flirting, revisiting every memory they'd once shared, all while I played nurse to his broken heart. And the worst part? He wasn't cheating physically. Not yet. It was emotional, deeper, crueler. He was using me to fill the silence between her messages. I didn't cry that night. I didn't scream or throw things. I just lay there, beside him, staring at the ceiling, realizing that the love I'd built with such patience wasn't real. It was scaffolding for something that had already fallen. By morning, I had a plan, not one born of fury, but of precision, because I'd spent months learning him, how he worked, what he valued, what he feared losing most, and I knew exactly how to dismantle him. First, I copied every message between them, screenshots, timestamps, even the photos they'd shared. Nothing salacious, just intimate enough to expose intent. Then I did my research. Evelyn's social media told me everything. She was remarried, living in Chicago, smiling in curated snapshots with her new husband, Daniel Cross, a real estate developer, clean-cut, successful, the kind of man who wouldn't take kindly to learning his wife was still whispering love poems to her ex. I didn't reach out right away. I waited 2 weeks, letting Julian think everything was fine. He still kissed me goodnight, still told me I was his anchor. The irony almost made me laugh. When the time came, I drafted a message. To Daniel Cross. Hi, Daniel. You don't know me, but I think you should see this. I wish someone had shown me the truth sooner. Attached, every screenshot, every timestamp, every word they thought was hidden. I hit send. Then I blocked him. And I waited. The fallout came fast. 3 days later, Evelyn posted a quote to her Instagram story. Truth is the luxury of those who have nothing left to hide. Her husband deleted all their couple photos within 24 hours. Julian grew quieter, edgier. His phone buzzed less, and when it did, he'd step outside to answer. Then, one night, he came home pale and trembling. She knows, he whispered, sitting on the couch. Evelyn's husband found out about our messages. He's threatening to tell her family. I looked at him carefully. Oh, that's awful. He ran a hand through his hair. I don't know how he got them. Maybe Evelyn's husband hacked her account or something. She's furious, says her marriage might be over. I tilted my head. Maybe it should be. He looked at me, startled. What? You can't build anything honest on lies, Julian. You should know that. His face changed, confusion melting into realization. You, he whispered, you did this. I didn't deny it. I just smiled. I was tired of being your rebound, I said quietly, so I decided to stop playing second place in a story that should have ended years ago. He stared at me, speechless. I stood, grabbed my keys, and walked out the door. People think revenge feels like fireworks, loud, thrilling, cinematic, but it doesn't. It feels like silence, like the stillness after a storm, when you finally stop shaking. A week later, Julian tried calling, dozens of times. I ignored everyone. Eventually, he sent one final text. You didn't have to destroy everything. I stared at it for a long time before replying. You destroyed it when you made me believe I was your healing instead of your habit. Then I blocked his number. Months passed. I moved apartments, got a new job at an ad agency in the city, started painting again, something I hadn't done in years. Sometimes, when I passed by the cafe where we first kissed, I'd feel a flicker of the old ache, but it didn't last. One evening, while scrolling online, I stumbled upon an article, a small real estate feature on Chicago's power couples who survived scandal. There was Evelyn and Daniel, smiling, rebuilding, public forgiveness wrapped in practiced grace. I wondered if she ever thought of me, if she knew who sent those screenshots. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Either way, I wasn't angry anymore, because I'd finally learned something essential. Some betrayals don't deserve confrontation. They deserve exposure, quiet, precise, and complete. A year later, I saw Julian again. It was at a mutual friend's gallery opening. I almost didn't recognize him. Thinner, older, eyes dulled. When he noticed me, he froze. Then, cautiously, approached. "Lena," he said softly. "Julian." He studied me for a moment. "You look good." "I am good." He hesitated, then said, "I'm sorry. For everything." I smiled faintly. "I know." He nodded, as if that acknowledgement was all he came for, and drifted away into the crowd. I watched him go, a man still orbiting a love that had long since burned out. And I felt nothing but peace. Later that night, as I walked home under the soft hum of city lights, I thought about all the ways love disguises itself, as pity, as longing, as the need to fix someone else's pain. But love shouldn't be charity. It should be choice, mutual, steady, true. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do for yourself is to stop being someone's second sunrise. Because you can't rebuild trust with someone who only loved you as a bridge. You burn the bridge, and you walk into your own dawn. You've just stepped into her revenge side, where every wound finds its justice, and every silence ends with truth. If her story struck a chord, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Another secret waits in the next video. See how her revenge begins.